Welcome at 5 Minutes with Errol Musk. I'm Anneke, clinical psychologist. Errol, there are many articles that say Elon, Kimball, and Tosca were raised by their mother and that insinuated that you were absent. However, in my inquiries, I found this may not have been true. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I can comment on that. First of all, I'd say that May and I were together for a long time. I met her at primary school. I knew her at high school. We went out for 6 years. We were married for 10 years. I mean, we were very, very close. But suddenly something happened, and we split up. And initially, we had twin homes, so she left the. She decided to take my daughter to our other home in another city in Durban, and leave the boys with me. And she did that initially, and then after a while she came back and said she misses the boys. I already had them going to school, and with help from other mothers, and she felt she'd like them to come to her. So I agreed. My family were very upset about it, my mother and so on. But anyway, I agreed. I said, yes, I think that's a better idea. And essentially, in my work, I was, all over the country. So it was always difficult for me to ensure that they were collected from school and so on if I was not available, because, I'm proud of the fact that I took them to school and fetched them from school all their lives. But so I let them go down to their mother. But it was only a few months that I received a call from the school that the boys were at, saying that, and a letter saying that they are going to call social welfare, and in fact they were going to call the police unless I did something about the condition of the boys. I was completely taken aback. At the same time, I got a telephone call from the maid that we had in our home in La Lucia, who'd been with us for a number of years, saying to me that she can't take it anymore because the madam disappears for a week and leaves her with the children with no food. And the schools were telling me that the boys were coming to school asking for food, falling asleep in the class, very unkempt, dirty, and so forth. In fact, Elon sometimes never came to school. He just walked around the neighborhood. So I inquired with May. I was told by her boyfriend to go forth and multiply. And so I had to, in fact, sue her. So in the course of suing her, which was a horrible situation, I did say to her eventually, well, as soon as I could get to a point, look, if you promise me that you will take proper care of them, they can go back, they can go on with you, but you've got to take care of them. So she said she promised me that she would. So I said, right, well, I paid everybody's legal bills, and that was the end of it. Okay. It wasn't very long afterwards that I got a brief note to say that Elon is coming up on the train from Durban to Johannesburg, and that I should pick him up the next morning. And I was very surprised. I went and picked him up, found this beaming 9-year-old boy, and took him home. And he, he was very happy to be with me, and to go and get a burger. First thing, let's go and get a burger, Dad. And so so he continued like that. And then, of course, I also had the children with me through all the holidays, every holiday. So they made sure they came up on every holiday. And I from the day school stopped until the day school started, they all
Was that in the period that they did not stay with you?
In the period that they did not stay with me completely. And then after that, when Elon came, of course, he was staying with me. And then shortly after that, Kimball came, both when they were in primary school. And they stayed with me until they reached the point of going overseas to study. And that was when I think Elon was 18, and he went to have a look at the universities overseas.
So did Kimball also stay with you?
Yes, Kimball also stayed with me. And so they both stayed with me.
Elon came first.
Pardon?
Elon came first.
Elon came first, and then after a while, Kimball came. And they did see their mother, not very often, but they did see their mother. And but that was the circumstance. And when it came to school holidays, Tosca, of course, was with us as well. So inevitably, I used to take them overseas in the July summer overseas, when summer overseas in July. And so we would be overseas during that period. And occasionally we'd go in their winter to ski and so on. But they spent all their, let's say, non-school time with me, all three of them. And so, yes, the articles that say may raise them and so on, I've watched them. I don't mind. I don't really, I want them to love their mother. That's very important to me. And I don't really care if they love me, but I want them to love their mother. That's more important to me. And I notice that that's what is the situation now. And I'm very happy about that.
How old was Elon when he came to you?
Well, he left me when he was 8. He was in grade 3, and he returned just before the end of grade 4. So he went into the last few weeks of grade 4, and then grade 5 onwards. So that's the time that he was away. So he left at 8 and came back, just after turning 9, about 9, just probably maybe near 10. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But he was tiny. He was a very tiny little chap.
So his whole high school years he stayed with you?
Yes. Well, virtually all his primary school years and his high school years, Elon was with me. And Kimball spent a little more time with his mother. I'm glad about that. And as I say, I've never contested this because it's important to me that they love their mother and that they think highly of their mother. That's very important to me. I think a father, I think all fathers feel the same. So I don't think I'm special in that regard. So mommy comes first. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you. That's a view of Errol Musk on the raising of Elon.